Hey everyone, Trainer Maxim with you. Just a couple of words on the body's limitations. You know how often it's said that we need to train to push our limits. Well, in fairness, we don't need to push our limits. We don't even want to be pushing our limits because, see, in nature, every material has structural limits. If you apply a force greater than what that material can tolerate, then it breaks. Whether it's stone or steel or rubber, if you push past the structural limits, the object fails. So the same, absolutely the same, is true for our bodies. Connective tissue, cartilages, bones, muscles, these are all physical materials. And just like any physical material, they have limits. If you apply more force than they can tolerate, those tissues will simply get damaged. That's how we get injured or even in severe cases incapacitated. What we're actually supposed to push are not our limits, but the boundaries within those limits. That's very different. So you can, in a way, think of boundaries like the inner borders of a country, the borders between states or provinces. You can redraw those borders, inner borders, in some cases, but you definitely don't want to redraw the outer border of the country itself because it leads to conflicts, wars, damage. Well, depends on the country, of course, but you got the idea. So inside the body is the same situation. When we start training strength, flexibility, or mobility, or anything else, our boundaries sit far away from the true physical limits of our tissues. And yes, we want to push those inner boundaries deep into the country of functionality, let's call it this way. But we must stop pushing long before we reach the outer border, the hard limit of what the tissue can safely tolerate. If we ignore that line and keep adding weights, intensity, or workload, then training turns into a stress test. And you know what is the main objective of a stress test? Is to find the point of failure. Find the point where eventually the tissue runs out of structural redundancy and snaps and gets injured. So with any training, the goal is to find the balance where we expand our boundaries without pushing our limits or getting anywhere near them. That's how we should train. So train smart, everyone, and stay safe. Cheers.